Hello friends, welcome to JQuery tutorial. In this video, we will talk about event propagation. We know that HTML can have nested elements. Based on this nesting, DOM tree parent-child relationship exists. Right? When we have nested element, we will be having similar parent-child relationship in DOM tree. Look at the piece of HTML here. Here you can see body, div, and h2 tags. So body is the element and div is nested inside the body. And the div tag contains 3 h2 elements. And these h2 elements are nested inside the div tag. Right? So if you look at the DOM tree relation, it will go like this. Right? So this is how the DOM tree relation will be established. For div, there are 3 child, or all these h2 elements are nested inside the div. So the parent for all these 3 h2 is div tag. Similarly, the parent for this div tag is body. Here, div tag contains 3 h2 tags as childs. In jQuery, the event propagates from child to parent. This is child, right? From here, it will propagate to the parent. Now, when we click on the div, the event moves upwards from div to body. So, for example, you are producing the click event here, right? The click event for the div tag will be processed. Then the event moves upward and then it gets fired for the body tag. Right? And if you have a handler for body, that handler will get called. So handler for click event is get called in div when the handler presents. Then the event propagates upward. Then the event is fired, and if there is a handler for body tag, then that will also get called. And if we don't have any body, if we don't have any handler, then only the handler for div is invoked. And if there is no handler, then the event just moves upward, and since it doesn't find any handler, the default HTML element action will take place. The same way, when we click on the h2, the click event move path is h2 to div to body. Right? Let's state that user is clicking here. Right? Then event is fired by this third h2 element, and if there is a body that will get called, then event propagates up. It will not get called for the siblings, right? These are all siblings, not the parent. So from h2 it propagates up and fired on the div. And if there is a body that get called, then it moves up, then event is fired for the body. h2 to div to body. That's what here we are stating. To experiment this, we will have 2 CSS styles. So here is our CSS style. One is blue color style and another one is red color style. Right? When you apply this class attribute, the foreground color of the element is changing to blue. Similarly, when you apply this red, the element color will change to red, right? That's the CSS attribute we are using, or CSS style color. For color we are using. This should be smaller case. Alright, now we are having two CSS rule, dot blue, dot red. Here dot denotes the class. Any element that is having the attribute class equal to blue will turn the color into blue. I mean the foreground color of that specific element will change to blue. The same goes for red. After having these two CSS style, then we will handle the click event for the div and h2. Because here we are going to experiment, right? We'll handle click for div as well as h2, and we will see how the event is propagating. So if you see here, we are having the script. This time we'll use everything inside one single HTML. We will have body, then we will have the style tag, and inside that we will specify our CSS rule. Then we will have a script tag, and instead of referring the external file, we will write our code here itself. $document ready function, you know that already. Then this is just a click event for text style. Text style is div, right? Hash denotes ID, right? So we are picking any HTML element that is having ID text style. That means we are picking the div tag here. Then we are making call to the on method, and we are hooking the click event, and inside the click event we are toggling the class to blue. That means class attribute blue will be added to the div element. So when you click on the div, we already have the hierarchy, right? Let's keep that here once again. So text style is div, right? And in the click event we are changing the color to blue. So here we are adding the class attribute blue at the div tag. So when this event procedure runs, it changes the color attribute to blue. That means it is setting the CSS style blue to the div tag. That means since all h2 are child of this div, all this will get turned into blue, right? When user clicks the div, because we have handler for the div that will get called. Then we have handler for h2 also, text style, all h2, right? So here this JQuery selection is to select the element with ID text style, that means div tag. Then with a space we are saying h2, and select all the child of h2 element, right? All the child of this div to h2. That means all three will get selected, and we are hooking the click event using the on method. And in this case we are toggling the color to red, right? Toggle class we are using red. Now this is the body for all the h2 elements, right? I mean the event handler body. Now let's see what happens when user clicks a specific button, right? So the event, let's state that this is the second attempt, right? First this handler will get called for this specific element, right? And there is a body, it will turn this specific element to red. Then what happens? The event propagates up and calls the click event for the div. So this is also get called because of event propagation. And when it gets called, here we are toggling the class to blue. That means we are applying the foreground color to blue. So the net effect is div tag is having the class attribute equal to blue, right? So this is a class. For simplicity reason, I just kept C, right? Then the div contains multiple h2. The event is produced at a second, right? The second will have the class attribute of red. So as per the CSS hierarchy, this is div end. The color red is applied for this one, and then blue is applied for the rest. That means because there is a parent-child relationship, right? Blue is applied here, blue is applied here. Here, since there is a class attribute red and it overrides the blue, so this will still stay in red color. When we click the div tag, the element originates, the event originates at div and moves up to the body. But if you look at here, we don't have any handler for the body, so it will not get called. But the handler for the div tag will get called. When we click the div tag, the event originates at div and moves up to the body because body is the parent. Since we have for div that gets called, when we click on any h2 tag, the handler for h2 is called, and then handler for the div tag is called. Just now we explained it, right? This is the second attempt. Here you are clicking at h2, then 2.1 h2's event get fired and handler get called. Then the event is bubbled towards the top, that is div tag, and we have handler for that as well, so that will get called. Then event bubbles up and it get fired on the body, but we don't have any handler function for it, so that event is discarded. Now let's go to the demo and see how the event propagation works. So this is our simple HTML file. Let's run this once. So we have div tag, right? This is the parent for all these three child. Here in the head itself, we will include the style tag. Here we see we just added the style tag instead of separate CSS file. This time we are embedding the style inside the HTML itself. So whatever we did in all our previous example, that is the recommended one. People will call that as separation of concern. All HTML goes in one file and CSS rules goes in a separate file. Similarly, JavaScript goes in a separate file. That will help in reusing the content, but for learning purpose, from now onwards, we will keep CSS and JavaScript in the same file itself. That will make our learning process smooth. Alright, now we have style tag, and inside that we have two CSS style rules. One is blue and another one is red. When the blue rule is applied, the element forecolor will change to blue, and when it is red, the element foreground color will change it to red. The next step is adding the reference to our JQuery API, JS API, JQuery. If you look at here, as part of the initial video, we told how to configure the JQuery. From the internet, you can take a specific version of JQuery and you can keep inside a folder or wherever you want, you can keep it, then refer that. Here inside the script tag, we refer the JQuery, and after that we are writing our own custom JavaScript. Here we kept our custom script. Since jQuery is already referred, the jQuery functions are available in the second script tag here. Right? So the functions are already explained during the document ready. We are hooking the click event for text style. That means for the div tag. Right? That is the text style. Then all the h2 elements that present inside the text style. For both, we are handling the event. Now let's save and experiment it. What we will do, as already told, first we will click on the div tag and you will see all element will change to blue. Then we will click on the specific h2 element. The specific h2 element will change to red, and since event propagates upward, the other elements will turn it, and the other elements will change to blue. Alright, now we will run this. First, let me click on the div tag, and you can see all elements changed to blue. Let's reload this to remove the class attributes. And this time I am clicking the tight, or let me click on loose. And if you see, the event is fired here. So this is red and it propagates up and fired on div tag also. So now all will turn into blue except this one, because the class attribute is already applied here, right? So if you look at the source using the developer tools, and when we look at the element in the div, we can see a class attribute blue is added because event propagates upward, right? And you can see a class attribute red is added here. As per the CSS rule, the parent will apply the style, so blue is applied to all. Then when it comes to child, it sees that class red is there. So this class red overrides the parent one. First blue is applied to all, then this red overrides the blue one. So to further study this behavior, let's open the developer tools and open our HTML file, and we have JavaScript inside, and let's keep breakpoint on both red and blue. Let me reload it once again and click on loose or tight. And if you see, the event is fired on the element and it got handled, right? When I execute this step over, the class attribute red is added to a specific element. If I expand, you see for the tight element, that's the h2, right? Class attribute red is added, and you can see at present red is here for the tight. Now Now let's go to the source and we will execute it. Since event propagates upward, it is handled on the text style, which is nothing but our div. Right? Now I'll execute it, and if you see, we landed into the click event of div. We haven't clicked the div, right? We clicked here only because of event propagation. We are landing into the handler for the div. And when I do the step over, the class attribute will be added to the div element. Since, the class attribute means blue attribute. And the rule for blue is foreground color turning into blue. So since this is the parent, the blue color will get inherited to the child. So regular will get blue color, loose will get blue color, tight will not get blue color because it's a child element that takes the precedence. Right? Let me go to the elements, and if you see, at parent level we set class attribute as blue, but at child level for this specific element we set class attribute as red. So this takes the precedence. That's why the second element is red and all other elements are blue, because it inherited the class attribute property from its parent. Right? Inheriting the style from the parent is the CSS property, and it is behaving as per that. That's all here in this video. Just now you learned how the event propagation is working. Thank you for watching. Bye.